We, Route 4, had gotten a grant from the Department of Labor that bought the furniture, and like I say, it's funny, but that ditto machine, that was the only way of making copies of anything. I mean, you know how difficult that was, making those dittos, and they'd wear out and all of that. But that thing was constantly going. It was us, of course, but all these other groups that we were helping and giving them some office space and telephones to use and things like that. And one that started inside us by just giving them time, space, and the ditto machine was free. Forces to Restore Earth's Environment, which became Beck.
At some point, going to talk to the Board of Supervisors in Oroville, and that was an ordeal to go talk to them, because none of us had cars. And they were the transportation agency. And so because we had this public law internship, they told us the law had changed, and local government was to use road money for transit if there was a need. So we knew the law. So we'd go and we'd say, we know the law, and you need to do that. We need a bus system. Oh, can't do that, can't do that. So because of that, there would be Caltrans people at these meetings and talking to that. And so I met a Caltrans engineer, and he said, there's programs. We can help you apply for getting vans. So CAVE worked with him, and we were successful in obtaining a grant to buy what was the first ADA, publicly accessible van transportation in the city of Chico. Ultimately, there was lawsuits challenging the county. You can't deny the fact that you are to have a hearing on need and do something. So ultimately, the first transportation system was called the Chico Clipper. It was a dial ride. And then ultimately, we got a small bus ride between Chico and Oroville. But we were the first with that the CAVE van.
I have a friend who was in the kids program 40 years ago. We were chatting about CAVE, and this was really, I think, a really prime example of what CAVE can be and mean to people is the fact that he said, I said, what was your experience of CAVE? And he said, CAVE shaped my life as it is today. And I just went, wow.
The biggest takeaway that I got from CAVE was really how to be a successful self-starter. How to really manage, run a program, work with people, and set goals and outcomes and carry them out.
The great folks we worked with them, they were all so committed. It has nothing to do with your thinking of how the world works. It's all about, your concern for your fellow human.
That's the other thing I hope that CAVE people sense. It doesn't have to get big at all. It just has to it never gets big. It's always you and another person in the room. And so the better you get at that, the better everything gets for everybody.
I made a whole career out of volunteer programming, and it's really interesting because even today, 20 years into my career, people ask me, how'd you learn all this? And I'll say, oh, it was CAVE.
So I'm not sure what the final takeaway is going to be, except that it has just enriched my life, in ways I can't begin to describe. I mean, I think I kind of grew up at CAVE in my career. My connections with everybody, whether it's been a volunteer, whether it's been all those terrific CAVE staff members, or faculty, staff, community people that we got to connect with over the years has just helped develop and enrich my professional life, put me in a position to be able to do the kinds of things that I've been doing for 30 years and that mean so much to me.
One of the best things about being the director, I think, was, well, there's several things, but one of the best was just being that mentor for students, that high energy, that interest in learning, the fun they have. And I was still young enough that I was not that far away from being a student. So it was a nice blend. I loved being a mentor to the students. That's the very best thing.
So I guess CAVE kind of gave me some belief that this is a good place. The world can be a really good place and people do care.